for sweating, illegally using, a horse. But his mother or father has got a hint, given in a kindly way by the police sergeant, that Jim is free to come home and stay at home if he behaves himself. There is usually a horse missing when Jim goes out back. Jim turns up all right, save that he has no money, and is welcomed with tearful affection by his favourite sister Mary, shakes hands silently with his father, and has a long whispered conversation with his mother, which leaves him very subdued. His brothers forbear to sneer at him, partly because it is Christmas, partly on his mother's account, and thirdly, because Jim can use his hands. Aunt Emma, who is fond of him, cheers him up wonderfully. The family sit down to dinner. An old mate of your father's, a bearded old digger, has arrived and takes the place of honour. I knowed your father, sonny, on the diggings long afore any of you was ever thought on. The family have only been a few hours together, yet there is an undercurrent of growling, that, to the stranger, mysterious yet evident undercurrent of nastiness and resentment, which goes on in all families, and drags many a promising young life down. But Aunt Emma and the old mate makes things brighter, and so the dinner of hot roast and red-hot plum pudding passes off fairly well. The men sleep the afternoon away, and wake up bathed in perspiration and helpless. Some of the women have headaches. After tea they gather on the veranda in the cool of the evening, and that's the time when the best sides of their natures and the best parts of the past have a chance of coming uppermost, and perhaps they begin to feel a bit sorry that they are going to part again. The local races of sports on Boxing Day. There is nothing to keep the boys home over New Year. Ted and his wife go back to their lonely life on their selection. Tom returns to his fencing or tank sinking contract. Jim, who has borrowed a couple of quid from Tom, goes out back with strong resolutions for the new year, and shears stragglers, breaks in horses, cooks and clerks for survey parties, and gambles and drinks, and gets into trouble again. Maybe Joe knocks about the farm a bit before going into the great north-west with another mob of cattle. The last time I saw the old year out at Yoonderee, the bushfires were burning all over the ranges, and looks like great cities lighted up. No need for bonfires then. Christmas in Bourke, the metropolis of the great pastoral scrubs and plains, 500 miles west, with the thermometer 100 and something scary in the shade. The rough, careless shearers come in from stations many dusty miles out in scrubs to have their Christmas sprees, to drink and shout and fight, and have the horrors some of them, and to be run in and locked up with difficulty, within sound of a church-going bell. The Bourke Christmas is a very beery and exciting one. The hotels shut up in front on Christmas Day to satisfy the law, or out of consideration for the feelings of the sergeant in charge of the police station, and open behind to satisfy the public, who are supposed to have made the law. Sensible cold dinners are the fashion in Bourke, I think, with the hose going, and free and easy costumes. The free males take their blankets and sleep in the park. The women sleep with doors and windows open, and the married men on mattresses on the verandas across the open doors, in case of accidents. Christmas in Sydney, though Christmas holidays are not so popular as Easter, or even Anniversary Day, in the Queen City of the South. Buses, electric cable, and the old steam trams, crowded with holiday makers with baskets, Harbour boats loaded down to the water's edge with harbour picnic parties. A trip round the harbour and to the head of Middle Harbour, 1 shilling return. Strings of tourist trains running over the Blue Mountains and the Great Zigzag, and up the coast to Gosford and Brisbane Water, and down the coast to beautiful Illawarra until after New Year. Hundreds of young fellows going out with tents to fish in lonely bays or shoot in the mountains, and rough it properly like bushmen, not with deck chairs, crockery, a piano, and servants. For you can camp in the grand and rugged solitude of the bush, within a stone's throw of the city, so to speak. Jolly camps and holiday parties all round the beautiful bays of the harbour, and up and down the coast, and all close to home. Camps in the moonlight on sandy beaches under great dark bluffs and headlands, where yellow, shelving, sandstone cliffs run, broken only by sandy beach bays, and where the silver-white breakers leap and roar. And Manly Beach on a holiday, thousands of people in fresh summer dress, hundreds of bare-legged, happy children running where the blue sea over the white sand rolls, racing in and out with the rollers, playing with the glorious Pacific. Manly, our village, Manly Beach, where we used to take our girls, with the most beautiful harbour in the world on one side, and the width of the grandest ocean on the other, ferny gullies and fairy dells to north and south, every shady nook its merry party or happy couple. Manly Beach, I remember 5 years ago. Oh, how the time goes by! And the two names that were written together in the sand when the tide was coming in, and the boat home in the moonlight, past the heads, where we felt the roll of the ocean, and the moonlit harbour, and the harbour lights of Sydney, the grandest of them all. The end of The Ghosts of Many Christmases, from the collection of Children of the Bush, by Henry Lawson.